Okay, so to practice hypothesis testing, suppose that research suggests that American women respond to the question, from 1 to 5, how much do you agree that women ought to have the right to breastfeed in public? So the mean is 3.54, and the standard deviation is 1.3. Mini surveys 900 Canadian women through a magazine website, asking their opinions about this question as well. And the histogram of the data suggests that the distribution is approximately normal.
No problem.
They answered anonymously. The assumption of homogeneity of variance is met. Minnie didn't find any research comparing Americans and Canadians on this topic, but she believes that because Canadian law regards the breasts of women as equal to the breasts of men, Canadian women must agree with this statement much more than American women. So the results were a mean of 4.01 and a standard deviation of 0.98. So follow the steps of hypothesis testing and write a report. Pause the video and then I'll show you an example. Okay. So your report should look something like this. So 1 is the assumptions. So the assumption of interval or ratio scale of measurement has been met for this study because the question of the 1 to 5 is interval scale. And the assumption that the participants are randomly selected has not been met because Minnie surveyed women only through a magazine website. So we'll have to specify in our report that we must be cautious when generalizing. And the assumption that the data is normally distributed has been met. Independence has been met because the participants didn't really interact with each other, affect each other's answers.
Anonymously.
It was anonymous.
And also normal distribution is met because the histogram
indicated that it looked normal. Right.
Right.
The population variances are equal, meaning the homogeneity of variance has been met. So step 2, hypotheses and alpha. So we determined the alpha level to be 0.05 because that's typically what we set it at. And we believe it's directional. Therefore, we use a one-tailed test with a critical value of 1.65. So because it's directional, the research hypothesis should sound something like this. Canadian women will agree with the right to breastfeed in public significantly more than American women do.
Yeah. Now, in this case, the point is you compare these two groups and indicate them other direction.
Right.
So whatever words up to that effect will work.
Yeah. So for the symbolic notation, we'll say H1 and then a colon, and then mu1 is greater than mu2. So in this case, mu1 is Canadian women and the mu2 is American women. And the null hypothesis, so it should sound something like this. Canadian women agree with the right to breastfeed in public equally or less than American women do. So the symbolic notation is H0 and then a colon, and mu1 is less than or equal to mu2. Step 3, specifying the test statistic. Because we have only one sample and we know the population mean and standard deviation, we use a z-test. Step 4, computing the test statistic. So the population mean was 3.54 and the population standard deviation was 1.3. The sample mean was 4.01 and the sample size was 900. So just looking back at those numbers, the sample was what Minnie surveyed. So therefore, so in parentheses, 4.01 minus 3.54, so the sample mean minus the population mean, then divided by, and then in parentheses, 1.3, which was the population standard deviation, divided by the square root of 900, which is the sample size. So we just calculate. So
show all the steps.
Show each step that you take. Mm-hmm. So 4.01 minus 3.54 is 0.47 divided by 1.30 divided by 30, and then just keep going. So 0.47 divided by 0.04, and then that comes out to 11.75. So that's your statistic. And then the last step, step 5, the decision and interpretation. So 11.75 is higher than the critical value of 1.65. So in other words, it is in the critical region, and P is less than 0.05. So we reject the null hypothesis. And then to interpret the results, we would write something along these lines. The results suggest that Canadian women agree with the right to breastfeed in public equally or less than American women do.
Okay, yeah, I missed
I think this is
one. Okay, so it should be.
Let's rewrite it. So
yes.
We'll agree with the right to breastfeed in public more than American women do. Okay.
Sorry.
So okay. So just to restate, the results suggest that Canadian women agree with the right to breastfeed in public more than American women do.
Yeah.
Okay.